Welcome, everyone. I ask you to turn and greet each other in their inherent worth and dignity. Wonderful. I'm only going to highlight a couple of announcements. One is if you know of a 13 to 16-year-old who you'd like to learn basic adult skills. I'm teaching car care, for example. Somebody else is how to balance a checkbook and finances. There are other bits and pieces to this. If you know one, we still have room in the registration. We have a handful of teens who are going to take it, and we can handle more than a handful. So please, there's a sign-up sheet out in the lobby. You can always ask Tricia or Kevin about that, or can they send it out? We've also sent it out to St. Philip's and First United Methodist and the Lutheran Church, and trying to make sure that folks understand that this is open to anybody in the community for any teen, 13 to 16. Obviously, we have had an air conditioning issue. And this is one of those things where we learn what don't we know what to do when RK isn't around. So last week, when I wasn't here and RK was gone, some people started feeling really sweaty in here. And there were all sorts of, I think, accusations about nobody knowing how to run the thermostats. But really, enough people knew how to run the thermostats, they just didn't know to tell the office that we needed the HVAC people to come in on Monday. And because that didn't happen, we didn't call in the HVAC people until Wednesday, and it's taking 3 to 5 business days for the parts to arrive. So, two Sundays of the wonderful warmth of community. Yeah. We have women's group coming up on Wednesday afternoon. We have Thursday men's group on Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. All sorts of activities. I know somebody signed a visitor card recently. What are your social activities? And we do try to have all of those in the update, in the calendar, in all that we do. As I said, I'm only mentioning 1 or 2 of these things, but this is wonderful. We also want to recognize that John Austin is on vacation. He's a volunteer. You'd never know it. He's always here. He jumps in and plays whenever it's needed. And we have Michael Jeffrey Remsen to full Stevens. Who's Michael Remsen? I know that Michael Remsen is a really great person to be mistaken for. So, Michael Jeffrey Stevens. Some of you have heard him before because we've been bringing him in. And so he's going to do these next 2 weeks while John is on vacation. We'll give John a chance to do all the music afterwards. That's his request. And then back in September, when we restart choir, we'll have Michael back at the piano again. And he says he loves our piano. So it's good. That's really good. Yeah. Speaking of which, the piano. We will now enter into the beauty of this worship service with John and James singing our prelude, I Still Believe.
Good morning. Sorry. Good. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
It's been a mean, cruel season. It's been crazy, crazy hard. And for no good reason, my universe has come apart. I've been so uneasy, and I've been trying not to burn, 'cause I know that it's kindness that we're all here to learn. And I still believe in kindness, and I still believe in love. I know the power of a gentle touch when the going gets rough. I will not be bitter, I will not be small, 'cause if I choose to harden my heart, I'm nothing at all. Some days I don't get up, go out of my room. I'm so broken-hearted, I don't even know how to put my clothes together, to put one shoe on, to lace up those strings and open the door and carry on. But I still believe in kindness, and I still believe in love. I know the power of a gentle touch when the going gets rough. I will not be bitter, I will not be small, 'cause if I choose to harden my heart, I'm nothing at all. And I still believe in kindness, and I still believe in love. 'Cause if I choose to harden my heart, I'm nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Thank you, James and John. It's beautiful. Good morning. I'm Sharon Gubla, Worship Associate for this morning. Our chalice lighting is by Elizabeth M. Strong. Our Unitarian heritage bids
us.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's in unison. Our Unitarian heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of freedom, in the light of reason, in actions of tolerance. We gather in community to celebrate a heritage of freedom, reason, and tolerance. Our Universalist heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of faith, in the light of hope, in actions of love. We gather in community to celebrate a heritage of faith, hope, and love. Let us bring this Unitarian Universalist heritage into our world and our lives today.
Would you like this one or any of the other choices? Okay. This is the point in the service where we light candles for the joys and the sorrows in our community. I have several that were sent to me electronically or conveyed. If I have forgotten any, I hope that somebody will speak up. It's been a little bit of extra juggling this week. First, we have this rose presented by the Loving Hearts care team for one of our members who passed away this week, Buddy Tompkins. Buddy was one of the newest members in our group, and he had tried out in choir. And since the end of he had done massage therapy in the community. Some people may know him through that as well. Since his surgery at the end of April, he has never been out of the hospital. He was transferred, as a previous candle said, to an acute care hospital in Tennessee not long ago. And the decision was made to remove him from life support, and he went quickly. So this rose and this candle is for Buddy and Janie as well. The memorial is being planned, but at the moment it is planned for 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, August 2nd, first weekend of August, here at UUTC. We'd like to light a candle for the guy in the front row here, Bob Bennett, who is going to go for surgery this week. So all our hopes and thoughts and, yep, kind of crossed fingers for you, Bob. Like a candle for Jubal Tyner. Jubal was back in the hospital again this week. And one for daughter Olivia Tyner, who was in a major car accident this week. And for Tara McDonald, who's continuing to suffer from side effects of illness affecting her ears and balance. And our UUTC community rallied around her during one of the recent incidents this week. We have candles that have been submitted on paper. From Nancy, a thanks for time spent with my mother Jane, who's going strong at age 94. It's wonderful, Nancy. And a candle for all our new members who will be recognized in today's service. Welcome, new members. We are thrilled to have you join us. Did I forget anybody? Then let's light a candle for those things not yet mentioned, held in the hearts of people here, for those who are online watching, with the cares, sorrows, joys, all that we hold in this community. When we feel free to hold it together, out loud with one another, we know that we share it. We share the weight of the burdens, and we share the uplifting of the joys. This is how we weave together the fabric of community.
Our opening words, thank you, are by Andrew C. Kennedy. We come to love a church, the traditions, the history, and especially the people associated with it. And through these people, young and old, known and unknown, we reach out, both backward into history and forward into the future, to link together the generations in this imperfect but blessed community of memory and hope. Our opening hymn is Joy in the Morning. It's a new hymn, and I believe it's going to be on the screen.
It will be. And your minister is going to try to help. There are enough verses in it that we should be able to do just fine with it. But if you're the kind of person, maybe you're in choir, maybe you just like reading music, I have a few copies here if you would like to sing along, in not just with the words. Yeah, all right. This will help us. You guys didn't raise your hands. Just whatever ways it helps. You can share. You can look on. There you go, Carter. That's great. Thank you, Sharon. So to introduce this hymn, Joy in the Morning, is one of the brand new hymns solicited for the brand new online access Unitarian Universalist hymn book. We got a beta test of it at General Assembly at the end of June, those of us who were there as delegates. And I was in all the worship workshops and got the secret password to be able to go and look at these. I admit, I am not sure I was supposed to use them before the hymn book is released, but you give me access to something exciting and I'm going to go and bring it to you use. So here we go. This is Joy in the Morning. We find joy in the morning, joy in the morning, joy in the morning, in the morning we'll find joy. We find hope in our children. Hope in our children. Hope in our children. In our children we'll find joy. We'll find strength in each other. Strength in each other. Strength in each other. In each other. Real strength. Don't worry, we'll have more new stuff later to sing. We'll keep it up through the service. At this point in time, I'm inviting Susan Slocum to come forward. We're going to have a new member ceremony. We're welcoming a handful of new members. And please, Susan, take over here.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I'm not Kristen Leesmont. I'm Susan Slocum. And Kristen is at home with her husband, David, who is experiencing some medical issues. She's not sure just what yet. So she's a member of the membership team. I'm a member of the membership team. And my helper today, Beth Klaus, is also a member of the membership team. The new members who have joined since our last recognition ceremony are following the, I've done this a lot, but I'm losing myself here this morning. It's a little, more emotion here. have joined since our last recognition ceremony or following the previous class honor us by their interest going through the orientation and steps to sign the membership book in recent months. And I was privileged, I believe, to teach one of the classes that all of these new members attended. So it's a very, very special time for me to be personally doing this ceremony. Thank you for your continued presence in this Unitarian Universalist congregation. It warms my heart that you would be part of this place. Would the following people please come forward in no particular order, but stand in front of me facing the congregation. Beth is going to come up to this end, and she will guide you to spread away from her and towards the other end. If I've missed someone, please let me know. Eric Young. Randall Cothran. India Cothran. Susan Becker. Lauren Norton. Daisy Bennett. John Arterton. And James Mack. Great. Okay. Sometimes walking into a UU congregation brings a sense of, wow, here are my people, here is my tribe. We may believe everyone here thinks like us and has all the right perspectives, opinions, and wisdom. If you haven't figured it out yet, though, we're a diverse group. Reverend Bob always asks for new members to be disillusioned early. He and we know that we're not going to live up to such initial impressions. Sometimes we get things wrong. The real strength of this congregation is when members retain their vision of how we could be great. Take us where we are, nurture, educate, and lead us towards our best. Each of you has a perspective that's unique. As the philosophy ascribed to the Unitarian preacher Francis David of the 1500s in Transylvania, in Eastern Europe, we need not think alike to love alike. Beth is going to be handing each of our new members a token. It's a chalice pin. The two circles represent the overlapping Unitarian and Universalist heritages. You see a 3D version framing our own oil lamp and flame at the moment on the screen and behind Randall. May you wear this pin proudly. We now ask the new members to listen to the congregation and myself alternating with the following reading. And that should come up on our screen. Great. Okay, so I'm going to read first and then the congregation, please. We bid you welcome who come with weary spirit seeking rest.
Who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid.
We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart.
Who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous.
We bid you welcome who are seekers of faith.
Who come to grow and explore, who come to learn.
We bid you welcome who enter this hall as a homecoming.
Your room for your spirit, who find in this people family.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, whenever you are on your journey, wherever. Thank you. The new members will, oh, wonderful. Susan, our
Susan
president.
Mosley, our president, will shake your hand as welcome into the congregation. And then I have a blessing for you before you go sit down. It is indeed an honor to be in a community in which others who come and find us say, I want to be with you. And I am so honored that all of you have chosen that. I will now stand about here and give you a blessing that I do on child dedications as well. May your thoughts be wise. May your lips speak truth. May your hearts know love. And may the work of your hands be blessed all the days of your life. Amen. You may be seated. Yeah. I was just thinking, what would it be like if we didn't have a community where people gave? People dug in deep into the earth and planted flowers. People stood up and spoke at civic meetings. What would it be if people just pretty much said, it's not my thing? What would it be if we didn't give to the various nonprofit organizations helping to fill gaps where now there are chasms where federal budgets used to help? What would it be? And I was thinking that maybe we could invite the mafia in and make a profit off of all of the despair, to fill in the gaps, to make us feel better by selling us drugs, to do all sorts of things. And then I said, that's not a UU sermon, Bob. But I do think there are communities that have succumbed to such things, who have given up on themselves, who have forgotten that their own generosity is a showing of the love and the values that they have. And as long as we have congregations of whatever religious background, as long as we have good teaching of values in our community, that we will again and again tell ourselves, if we are generous to one another, we will build beauty in our world. With that in mind, I invite you to drop some money into the offering plate. Or even more, think of the Charity of the Month, our Dignity Project, and the ways in which we can help fill in gaps and keep the mafia out of Transylvania County. We'll now receive the morning offering. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Donna. What's given in love we receive with great joy. Thank you. I invite you into a time of meditation, a time of prayer, time of centering, and a time of expanding beyond our own selfish thoughts and out into a connectedness with life, universe, and everything. Spirit of love and life, we who are gathered here this morning are overjoyed in the knowledge that our congregation is growing in all that we do to do more in this world, growing in the ways in which we meet new people who want to walk together with the values that might in some way, oh Spirit of love and light, bring that love and light into this world. On this day as well, we also have the grief of those who are missing from our midst. Those who over the years have slipped past onto our memorial wall. Let us remember those who have always meant something in this world, because indeed we all have worth and dignity and a presence. All who have been with us have influenced us in some way, and on this day in particular, we lift up the name of Buddy Tompkins. We are saddened. We are saddened by the news that there are those who have had injuries and illnesses who are not quite able to function in the ways that they might have been a week ago or weeks ago or months ago. On this day, we have hopes for recovery for those who've been hospitalized, who've had procedures, or who are looking forward to having procedures that will make lives a little better. In particular, this morning, we lift up Bob Bennett. We lift up Jubal Tyner and daughter Olivia Tyner. We lift up Tara McDonald. We hold these people in our hearts. And more importantly, may we remember to let them know we care. For this makes a difference in this world when we say we care. These, the prayers of our hearts, the meditations of our minds, we hold now in this silence. in the names of all those known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind, we say, Amen, blessed be.
It's been a long, dark night, and I've been waiting for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight, but I see a brand new day dawning. I've been looking for the sunshine, but I ain't seen it in so long. Everything's gonna work out fine, and everything's gonna be alright. That's been all wrong, 'cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning, and I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a brand new morning. Everything's gonna be alright, gonna be okay. It's been a long, long time since I've known the taste of freedom, and those clinging vines that had me bound, well, I don't need them. I've been like a captured eagle. You know, an eagle's born to fly. Now that I have won my freedom, like an eagle, I am eager for the sky. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning, and I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright, gonna be okay. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning, and I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright, gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright, gonna be okay. I can see the light.
Now I'm going to give this a try. Instead of just reading this great piece of words by Melissa Jeter, who was born in 1970, this was copyright 2023. This is part of the new online hymn book beta test as well. That I'm going to see, I recorded this being sung at General Assembly. And so I'm going to listen to my phone, and I'm going to try to sing this one to you instead of just reading a reading. If there ain't room for me is our reading this morning. Let's see if I can put the energy back into it the way we felt it at the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly, delegates and all. All right, I got the tempo now. Here we go. There ain't room for me if there ain't room for you. If there ain't room for me and you, that ain't the space for me. That ain't the place for we. If there ain't room for me and you. People talk inclusivity, inherent worth and dignity. You gotta take room for this faith to grow on. 'Cause if there ain't room for me, that ain't the space for we. You gotta make room for this faith to grow on. If my neighbor can't go, if the stranger can't go, if the neighbor and the stranger can't go, that ain't the place for me. That ain't the space for we. Siding with love is the way for you and me. People who love make room. Siding with love, they will make room for beloved community. That is the place for me. Fighting with love, make the room, widen up the circle, make room. That is the space for me and you. That is the space for me and you. You gotta make room for we. Now that can be sung up tempo. The marking is 112 to each quarter note, but that's not the way it was sung at General Assembly. It was that kind of soulful way of doing it. So that's what I wanted to bring to you. My sermon today is the joy of being a Unitarian Universalist. And thank you so much, Michael, for bringing in the piano, because I wasn't keeping up with my recording and it was going to get all out of sync. Thank you. So my sermon today is going from age 14, when I signed a membership book of a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and kind of skipping through and getting to right now, post-General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association. There's a little poem here by the Reverend Dr. Kimmy Floyd Reich. It was, "'Twas the night after GA for General Assembly. 'Twas the night after GA, and all through the halls, the echoes of justice still clung to the walls. The banners were folded, the ribbons unpinned, the warmth of connection still stirred in the wind. We showed up in Baltimore, bold and alive. Some tuned in from couches with Zoom Hoover vibes. There were signs in the streets and movement online, folks sharing their stories, both poignant and fine." Now, it's a whole long poem, but I just wanted to give you a little opening there. The people would come back from a delegates meeting of Unitarian Universalists and want to write a poem about it. To me, when we gather in congregations, and we gather in men's group and the women's circle, we gather in spiritual explorers, we gather, we are bringing our own energy into a circle that continues to enrich us, empower us. Make us glad that we are not alone. Make us glad that we can speak into the world with our voices and our hopes and our community. We had some of these people today say the same thing. I'm gonna you do something I almost never do, because Randall, you and I think you're good with this. Randall arrived and we had a group that was about to close down. It was going to sunset for the summertime. And Randall said, I just got here. And Randall offered, along with other people in our community, to keep that group going through the summer. Yeah, they're nudging each other here. 3 in a row here, nudging each other here. And yeah, so sometimes we've got things that start up and we do them and it has meaning. Now, when I was a kid, and before I was a Unitarian Universalist, my parents brought me to the same kind of church that they went to when they were kids, that their parents had gone to, and even on my mom's side, her grandfather had pastored a New England Congregationalist church tradition, which was, by the time my parents had married, was United Church of Christ. They joined together with others and become the United Church of Christ. But the Congregationalists and the Unitarian Universalists were very close to each other. In fact, many of the New England congregations, the Congregationalists had been the first church in town, and then the Unitarians got a new pastor from Harvard who had been trained to think of a one God, not a three in one God. And the church would convert to Unitarianism, and the Congregational church had to go to the other end of the green and build a new church. And they'd argue who got the Revere silver communion set and stuff like that. That's part of our history. Well, after I'd been in the Congregational church and going with my neighbors and seeing the people and getting a sense of this town that I was in, my mom started going to a Unitarian Universalist fellowship. Now, fellowship meant an entire being, a concept of the time of the 20th century, mid-20th century. They wanted a build-your-own congregation kind of thing. And fellowships were built without ministers. They started without any ministerial leadership, and the people just got together and they put them together and they did it. And there was a fellowship about 25 minutes from our house, 20 minutes if my mom was driving. And you go all through the country roads and you end up in this little country place off the beaten path, beautiful setting, old barn that was converted. You guys are good. This was the gas company garage. You guys are good to convert this. Well, this old barn was converted, open beams and all, into a worship space for that Unitarian Universalist congregation that had joined a fellowship of Unitarians with the old Universalist church that had been in the nearby city. And they merged together and they had this little place out in the country. And in the farmhouse, all the children's classes would be held. Whether we started in the service and then walked across to the farmhouse, or whether the kids just had the whole time in the farmhouse. And in youth group, we would sit around and rap. Now, this is 1970s style rap. Rapping meant you were talking with each other. You were chatting, you were conversing, and we would sit in beanbag chairs in what was otherwise the boardroom, but we get the big old table out of the way, and we'd sit around in beanbag chairs with our advisor, and we would talk about what was most important to us. And maybe we'd have albums playing on the stereo while we were there and talking about our values. Later on, the Unitarian Universalist Association said, why are all these youths listening to music when they're talking about their values? And they decided to publish a curriculum called Messages in Music. And they sold it. And it was very popular for a while, about talking about bring in the music that's popular at the time and then talk about why your students have chosen that music. What does it speak to them? What does it mean? How does it tie in with Unitarian Universalist values? Well, my little fellowship got it way before the UUA decided to publish a curriculum on it. We were doing it. And we did that week after week. And when I turned age 14, a board member came to me and said, Bob, you know, in our bylaws, we say when you're 14, you can join. Now, in this congregation, it's 16, but in that congregation, it was 14. And Bob, you can join. And it's an important choice, and there are certain requirements of membership. We want you to be active with us. We need you to take part in our projects and help us out along the way. Maybe do something, social action in the community, or set up or do whatever it is that you have the skills to do or want to learn skills to do. And we ask for financial contribution as well. And we'd ask that of you if you joined. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, because, you know, it was really clear that all along as a child, I had been brought to where my parents thought it was a good place for me to be raised. I was going to my parents' religion. And it took me 3/4 of that year, when I turned 14, to decide, you know what, this is my religion. I'm not just saying I attend this Unitarian Universalist congregation. My mom brings me and my brother to this Unitarian Universalist congregation. This is mine. That's a big choice, and we just saw some members come in and sign in this past month, or even just this morning, going through the class and signed and said, this is my place. I don't just attend here. This is mine. And I owned it. And I've told you before, my first payment was a babysitting job. I'd earned $5, and I turned in the $5, but I forgot to put it in an envelope with my name on it, and they thought I had jilted them on my pledge to have paid them that. That's right. I tried, folks. I didn't get all the rules. I was 14. I was still figuring it out. But yes, I paid my $5. I went and I volunteered at the soup kitchen on our day, our Unitarian Universalist day at the soup kitchen. I helped set out hymnals on Sunday mornings if I got there early with my mom, and I did other things. And when I sat there in youth group, I talked about what was of value to me among other teenagers, some of whom had not made that leap to become a member, but they got a lot out of youth group. Now skip ahead. When I went to college, I went to a Quaker college. I've told you this before, and there was a Unitarian Universalist group, and I went and I attended that. And then for whatever reason, the leader of that group decided he'd rather be Episcopalian. You know, okay. So somebody had to take over. So I took over the group and started leading the Unitarian Universalist group. And the opening words we had this morning were from Andrew Kennedy. Drew Kennedy was the minister of the Muncie congregation. We were in Richmond, Indiana. He was in Muncie, Indiana, closest church. And so I really like having Drew's voice in this, because I got permission, signed up, that the Unitarian Universalist student group wanted to go attend the nearest UU congregation in Indiana. And we drove to Muncie. It was maybe 40 minutes, I don't know. And we drove to Muncie and we attended. And that was a part of a group project. Inviting somebody along is a big deal. They say that in congregations, the biggest thing isn't a postcard project that you send out. It isn't necessarily an ad you put in the paper saying what's going to be preached about this week. It's when you share with someone else, hey, I'm going. Do you want to come along? It turned out that a big plus for what we were doing in the Unitarian Universalist campus group was helping people who had grown up in their parents' religion and in college for the very first time, wanted something. What did we say in the chalice lighting? Freedom, reason, and tolerance. That their religion wasn't necessarily preaching, that they weren't necessarily finding exactly what they wanted, and they were coming into Unitarian Universalism because we had a Unitarian Universalist student group. They were learning by finding others with what did Susan say in the beginning in the script? I found my people. They think just like me. They're just like me. And then you find out, no, they're not. We don't quite make identical copies, but there is a sense that, no, wait a minute, I can belong here. So I wanted to say that about the excitement of Unitarian Universalism is often the excitement that you share with someone else and they come along and they say, yes, this is, thank you so much for inviting me. Now you may have somebody who says, you know, that was really interesting, thanks for inviting me. But I think in most cases people will say, wow, I grew from that. I liked that, thank you. Folks, you got to think of your own ways in which you stepped through life and found your way to wherever you were. I love hearing your stories. How did you get here? Where have you been? What's your path? What's your journey? So glad to hear from you. Unitarian Universalism, back when I was growing up, said that that we honored the supreme worth of every person. And that got modified in the language by the time the 1984 came around, and the new principles at the time were being written, and it was we value the inherent worth and dignity of every person. When I was at the stage of being interviewed to see if I was suitable as a Unitarian Universalist minister, and I met the qualifications, was I psychologically stable, all the other hoops to jump through, I mentioned that out loud, that when I grew up, the poster on the wall had the old 1961 version of the supreme worth of every person, and also the ongoing search for truth and meaning. These, to me, are still echoing throughout all of what we're doing, even at our General Assembly this past year, in which we were talking very much about how ways in the past have brought us to where we are, but we cannot do things the way they used to be done. I am not going to suggest to Kevin that the best way to get teenagers is to set some beanbag chairs in a circle and put a stereo in the room. Not going to do it. Messages in Music is no longer one of the most popularly bought programs from the UUA. It's just not the same. It's kind of like telling people, be kind, rewind. And they're like, huh? A new sense of what we're about is needed. And they were explaining to us at General Assembly that, yes, we were right up there walking with Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement in the 60s. And we brought in so many people by being relevant and out there in our values. And then during the Black Lives Matter part, we were relevant and we were speaking up. And you know what they told us? They said it's not going to work. It's different now. For one, we have a different political climate. For another, that we just can't say the old way of doing things is exactly what's going to work forever and ever. In many congregations, the word is the old way is the only way, unchanging. And for Unitarian Universalists who were Protestants, I mean, the radical Reformation, not just a Reformation, but a radical Reformation. We got all sorts of names hurled at us. It's always been that way. We need not think alike to love alike quote that was attributed to the thought of Francis David that Susan read in the new member piece here. Francis David was jailed for innovation in religion. This would be a typical crime for Unitarian Universalists, for innovating in religion. And I say this out loud because I think some of you are ready. You're ready to do something heretical. You're ready to push the boundaries just a little bit. Now, I did that. I did that as a kid. I didn't follow my parents' religion. I didn't continue on the path that they had set. But you know what? Those Unitarian Universalists, I said, I'm way over here. And they said, that's great. Our circle is wide enough for you. It's like, you're not helping me. I'm trying to be a teenager and pushing against you. I'm over here. Oh, good. I don't think like you. Oh, that's great. In the bare basics, sum it up. Throughout my lifetime, throughout history, since Francis David in Transylvania in the mid-1500s, it has been again and again down to love at the center. Love at the center, and we do not have to be alike to love each other. Love at the center in understanding how we grow by learning and exploring and knowing each other. Respect for one another, even when we're in disagreement. Rebelling. I'm sorry if you're rebelling as a Unitarian Universalist. You got to try really hard and rebel. You can be obnoxious and we can say, no, we don't want obnoxious people. But if you're truly innovating in religion, we could get pretty excited about what you're sharing with us. And when we say, hey, we're shutting down our group for the summer, after all, there was a circuit rider in the South who said, there are no Universalists who are converted during July or August. They just shut down. Too sweaty, like today. No. You can be a co-conspirator to say, I just got here, I want that group to continue, and make it happen. Thanks for listening an extra long time for that. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you for being part of Unitarian Universalism. Thank you for being part of this circle of love and innovation. Appreciate it. We've got a closing hymn that's familiar for once. And then we're going to go into a closing benediction that is sung and is totally unfamiliar to you and me. And we're going to give it a try. Innovation in religion. Here we go. Hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love. And now the song Benediction. This is by Eva Conley Kendrick, who was born 1976, copyright 2023, from our Sing Out Love experimental online hymnal at the moment, Benediction. Let's sing together. May you go. Oh, you're going to start your two measures and then we're going to get in. May you go out with your hearts. May you go out with your hearts full. May you carry peace you through spinning wheels of days. And remember that this web of love extends as far as your hand. So reach out wherever you can. Oh, reach out wherever you can. You know what? You know what? Now that I've sung it through all once with you all, I want to give this a try later and again. The melody is really nice once I know what it is. The words, you read the words up there? The words are really nice for sending us out with each other. Going out to coffee hour and heading out. Here we go. Just like the words said, go on out with that peace and love.